Welcome back to our course on fintech security and regulation. As we reach the end of this module on fintech computer crime related issues, I wanted to ask Dr. Hilton Chan, CEO of his own fintech company, adjunct professor here and former head of computer crimes for Hong Kong Police, what's your takeaway, or what would you recommend as the bottom line or brief recommendations you would give to companies involved in finance and fintech about cybersecurity?
Right. I think for any fintech companies, the most important asset is the data itself. Now, the protection of data is most important in any.
More than money?
The money is data. Data is money.
Okay.
Data is more than money.
All right.
That's the challenging part.
So protect the data.
Protect the data is most important. Now, the tricky part of protecting the data is whoever wants to steal the data just need to take a copy of it. Doesn't actually have to, kind of destroy it and alert you that I'm doing something harmful to your company by attacking your data. So protecting of the data, how you could ensure that the data are not being stolen is first starting from the access control of the data.
Right.
So it's very important. Once people access to your data, they take a copy and then you don't realize that you become the victim. And then the data obviously will contain money, will contain your corporate knowledge, will contain a lot of the personal issue things. So that will become very vulnerable to attack. So now, in order to protect the data, now we have to consider, how we're going to basically using the technology of encryption and cryptography and even steganography to protect it, so to ensure that it's not easily being accessible by people. Now, there's a lot of existing principle in terms of data security. For example, is the least to know, least to know, and also you should assign different user with different access control to the system.
To some extent, it feels like a dilemma, though, because part of fintech and what's driving fintech is convenience, ease of use, access to data, information. And now we're saying we got to protect everything and make it less convenient, less easy to use.
Now,
isn't that a conflict?
No, I think easy to use, easily access control, operational efficiency, etc. Yes, for in the application layer, that's definitely
right.
No
for
doubt
the end
about
user.
It. For the end user, it is, yeah.
Okay.
But internal control, internal security is very important.
So we don't want to make it easy to steal.
Yeah, exactly. Because your internal staff would have privileged access to the data.
Right.
Right. Now, at least in terms of the HR policy, I mean, who you're going to employ, their background, how you get the delegation of the duties, and especially when you do outsource management. I mean, who are your contractor, who are your subcontractor, etc. And all these got to be managed by the company, and these are very important. And because the strength of the chain is weakest link, right? And very often that a lot of the human factor really cause the system to be able to be hacked by external party, or they collaborate with external hacker to attack the system.
Now, what if you do get attacked? What if you do get hacked and you're a fintech company? Should you go to the police?
No, when you are hacked, right? Firstly, I think the most important thing is you have to identify, okay, what is the actual cause and source of the attack? What is the intent of the attacker?
You believe your data was stolen somehow. You've got evidence. Somehow it's being misused.
Right. Now, then you have to look at the impact of that. Okay. What is the impact? What is your legal liability? Okay. Very often that, because most of the time, you as a company, the data don't belong to you because you are just a data holder.
Right.
Right.
So you're letting user data out.
Exactly. Because they entrust your organization to hold the data on their behalf. Now,
so your liability could go beyond just the direct harm.
Right. Whether legally or ethically, then you have that legal liability in order to report it. Firstly, at least report to the victim. I mean, the person being, and then secondly, you consider that should I report it to the law enforcement? If I report it, would that help to solve the problem?
What if it doesn't help?
Well, there's no, unless you're part of the regulated body.
The person who stole,
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't help you limit the harm.
Right. I mean,
should you still report it?
Yeah. firstly, if you're a regulated body, you have to report, right? That's required
Okay.
by law, right? If second part, if not, then you may have that autonomy of considering it, whether you report to the police. Now, at least I could see the advantage of reporting to the police and ensure that you may not want it to be publicly announced to everybody. When you report it to the police, the good part is that police is
Still
essential.
confidential.
It's still a centralized body to collect the information so that other people in the same industry won't become victimized again, and that they won't be able to attack other people. So hopefully we all learn from that lesson, right? So if everybody kind of a closed door policy and they keep all the things to themselves, then the criminal will try to exploit that, and then they will use the same technique repeatedly attacking different organizations.
So in a very different area, but something that people often don't report, is sexual assault. And Me Too, a movement in the U.S. and broader, is helping women to come forward and say,
Right.
I had this too, and no more.
Yeah.
Let's stop this offensive action and bring it out from hidden,
Right.
bring it out from the dark to the light so that we can say, no more.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. You're a cyber hacker. We go to the police. We're going to stop you.
Right.
Or at least we're going to give more evidence to help people to solve this crime.
Yeah.
And the police are getting better at this, right?
Yeah, I think the police are working together, and then they also because
Globally.
Globally they have to work together, and also this is always an improvement. It's a learning process for everybody in this area because it's so new. Things are just being launched immediately, right? And the technology is moving so fast, and everybody is learning how to deal with the people that's exploring the new system. So.
And it seems like there's more and more laws that say you are obligated to report.
I can see,
particularly if you're a regulated entity, like a
Exactly,
bank
exactly.
or insurance company.
Because the government is in interest of the public to say that, when
It helps to protect the public if we
Right.
force compliance and reporting.
right
That helps protect society as a whole.
as a whole, yeah. That's
Okay.
right.
Well, thank you. Protect the data, and sometimes work with the police if you either have to or if you think it will help deter crime
Right.
in the future, if it's of any value. But you also may want to work with private consulting firms and doing forensics, not just to find out what went wrong, but to prevent it from happening again.
Again, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Hilton.
Thank you.
Appreciate your help.
Yeah.